As AZ Guns. Today we're going to go over another one of my favorites, World War I, 1914 Hotchkiss. And it's an easily recognizable gun due to the large cooling fins here in the front. Basically act as a heat sink, pulls the heat out away from the barrel. Barrel's extra thick, also help control heat during sustained fire. And also noticeable is a unique pistol grip, feed tray, made out of brass or bronze, whatever they had at the time. And just overall a really cool, simple, robust weapon that actually served the French well during World War I and on into World War II, surprisingly, and was actually used by anyone who came across it and had ammunition. It functioned that well that they'd put it into use. So we're going to go over basic functions of the tripod. This one here being a 1915 omnibus. I've also got a U.S. Cleveland mount used for the U.S. Expeditionary Forces. I don't think those ever saw actual battle, but they were produced, about 2,500 of them. I'll bring that out. And of course we're going to do some shooting, and let's get going. All right, we'll go over some features here of the 1914 Hotchkiss. You can see its unique brass pistol grip here, rear handle, and here's your charging handle. Pull back, push the charging handle back forward. It is an open bolt gun. Your trip release is here if you've got to close on an empty bolt. And basically iron sights front and rear. And you can see the brass feed block here. The 1914 Hotchkiss does take 24 round strips and 8mm Lebel. Now it is a unique looking round. It's rimmed, but it does have the distinction of being really the first truly successful smokeless cartridge, which was a big deal at the turn of the century. Now, as I had mentioned, the 1914 Hotchkiss uses 24 round metal feed strips. And you can see the little spindle here, and this is what basically catches the cutout slots in the bottom of your feed strip. And as the op rod reciprocates back and forth, it will then turn this wheel, advancing the strip. So you can see the strip rotate with each back and forward stroke of the actual op rod. You can see here it ejects to the right, straight out, rather forcefully. Up here you have your gas regulator. You go in or out to adjust your gas, depending on how dirty the weapon is and maybe that particular ammunition. On the side here is your barrel locking lever. Push it down to the front, locks your barrel, make sure it doesn't twist. Here you can see this is the 1915 omnibus mount, and I'll go over its function next. So on the 1915 omnibus, you've got a lever here for your traverse. You can lift up, allow the limited swing on this tripod, and if you go all the way up, that allows freehand. Otherwise, bring it down, lock it in place. Also, the other funny part of a World War I design, heavy rivets, little like metal bicycle seat that you sit behind, legs go out, and on this side, the big wheel, it's very noticeable. This is your elevation wheel. You go up or down. Really no locking on it, but a lot of times they'd either hang on to it and shoot, make their adjustments. You got two levers here for extending the rear leg out to the needed length. Got a couple levers here on each side. That will then that helps to collapse the front legs. And this lever here This will also allow the front legs to kick out, get you a bit lower stance. That's about it for the 1915 omnibus. Now, when you're loading the 1914 Hotchkiss, open bolt, bring it back, and you'll notice this little lever here. This flips forward and allows the spindle to move, and that's what to be able to load your strip in. And when it's locked in, release that, and you're ready to fire. Now, this little deal here was an improvement. Prior to that, the gunner would have to pull back and hold it back, which then allowed the spindle to turn. So he had to hold all the way back while the strip was loaded and then release. So this was a quick and easy way to flip forward, load your strip, flip it back, and shoot. And also, this lever, let's say you have a jam and you need to clear the gun. It is open bolt, so as long as the bolt's back, you can push this lever forward again, which releases the spindle, and then you can simply pull the strip out, check the gun, and clear any stoppages you may have. Okay, let's load this up and get shooting. Put this forward. Lock it in place. We are ready to fire. Acquired target. Pretty nice. Now, the 1914 Hotchkiss did have anti-aircraft sights that are attached on here on the front. I don't have those. They're pretty rare. And in a pinch, they could flip this tripod around, any of the varieties, and use them as anti-aircraft mounts. So we'll give that a try. So here is the 1914 Hotchkiss on the Cleveland mount, the US-made version, and it's heavier, but a little bit simpler controls. Your elevation, you can lock it here, and traverse. Now this does have much better traverse, literally 360 if needed, and there's 2 traverse stops on each side. And to lock it in, you pull back on this lever. So let's give this a try. It's got the little seat. for the 1914 Hotchkiss. Put a final strip through and call it a day.